Ladies and gentlemen, today I'm going to have just one large point why we need this sort of religious autonomies in order to make sure that Israel or the Jewish people in Israel are able to actually fulfill the right to live freely as Jews as they see fit in their homeland. I'll have several points of rebuttal before I'll start all that. Look, Eitan, is really confused. He's talking about the fact that Israel is our home and we have this sort of discourse about it. He's seriously confused by the way Judaism is perceived by Israeli people, by Jewish Israeli people, yeah? The thing that connects the Jewish Israeli population in Israel is not the notion of Judaism as religion, because otherwise a person who keeps Shabbat and a person who doesn't wouldn't see themselves as pertaining to the same people, right? No, the actual view of Judaism in Israel is an ethnos, is an ethnic affinity, not what you do, well, not how you keep chastity laws, okay? You're really confused between religion and nationality, or even a concept of patriotism, which we discussed earlier. We are okay with, for example, Israeli patriotism, but we think that every person has the right, for example, a right-wing person and a left-wing person have the right to instill their own value to this large concept of what is patriotism. Yeah. And exactly those people have the right to set their education and their community rights and way of life according to the values that they instill in it. And this is exactly our view of religion. Religion is like a box that people should put in the values that they see fit into it. Why? Because it is such a crucial part of our of fulfilling our self-identity, our beliefs, and this is how actually we perceive ourselves and perceive our own identity. And it's also what makes us happy. And when it is taken from us, it makes us extremely unhappy. How does this relate to the rest of my rebuttal? Look. He's saying that we have given up on the Israel, the liberal concept of Israel. Well, I have news for you. As long as you don't actually separate religion and state, the Orthodox persuasion is going to control what is the content of this box that is called Judaism, what is called religion. So, what happens actually? Why does it affect people's happiness or our inability to live as happy Jews? Look, what Eitan is talking about, oh no, now there will not be a discourse between Hasidic and the secular, and people are not going to talk with each other. I know you're new in this country. Segregation and antagonism and lack of discourse is the status quo. Why? Because the Orthodox persuasion is oppressive. It's oppressive. It's oppressive not only for the secular population, which actually have some political efficacy to somewhat counterbalance it, not to mention like the buses now on Friday, you know that. We think that the major oppression that is going on is on other competing religious Judaism forms, like conservatism, like Reform Jews, or like just Hardali, like national religious people. Yeah, the mustard people. And this is our major problem in this. And this is what's going to be relieved by our motion. And then we talked about the minority because he knows I'm going to reply, and I love those kind of points. The Haredic woman who can't leave, status quo. But you know what's going to happen now? If right now she's suffocated in Bnei Brak, and she's suffocated in Elad, and she's suffocated in Mea Shearim, but you know what's going to happen now? Probably in Bat Yam, for example, you're going to have a religious community where she would feel comfortable to live, and she doesn't have to go to like the center of Tel Aviv and live as a secular, but a community that is a bit more friendly to her. Maybe this woman right now will feel bad and can't live there, but if she instills this sensation in her daughter, for example, and her daughter will actually have the choice of choosing between competing religious communities, that some of them will be more friendly to women, some of them will be somewhat inclined to be more friendly to women or other people. This is awesome. Competition is great. Why? Because people get more closer results to what they actually want, and because it makes the community, instead the communities who now have the power to oppress people, they have to fight to keep people within them. Let's start with my beautiful point about the whole concept of autonomy and why is this critical point? Why we have to do it right now? Look, Elon was so dramatic. Like Israel is falling apart and so forth. Look, do you know why the Jewish people in Israel actually survived, despite the fact that we have Ashkenazim and Sephardim and like we don't really like each other? Let's face it. Because the concept of Judaism being this empty box that we can all put in, it's a common box, and we can all put in like our view of the world. It means that right now, what happens right now because of the oppression of conservative, the Orthodox persuasion, people are more inclined, people are more inclined to opt out because Judaism becomes binary. Okay, it's either you comply with their view of things or you're not part of them. They exclude you and you don't really want to be a part of it. You know what's going to happen now? Judaism becomes a continuum. This is what happens when you get this competitive community and so forth. This is why people are going to be more happy, and this is healthy for. You start.
Okay, Pardeskat is a very, very poor city in the middle of Bnei Brak. Today they can fight to have public transportation for them to actually have a life in Shabbat. After your model, they have no job, they're stuck in there.
Thank you. Okay, there's a whole lot of people in Bnei Brak who are really offended by the fact of having transportation Shabbat. I think they should have their autonomy to decide that. I think that people in Bnei Brak who don't want it should move to Ramat Gan, okay? It's like 5 minutes drive, okay? Thank you, Michael. Okay, look what happened to global Judaism. Look how communities in the US, in Canada, in the EU, they are prospering. People want to opt in even if they don't even remember their Jewish grandmother and they don't know anything about Judaism. They want to opt in because they can feel themselves. They can actualize what this spiritual connection that they think that they're going to find out. What's going on in Israel? More people are either opted out or being actively oppressed. I'm talking about Reform communities and conservative and communities and so forth. This is tragic irony that people, Jewish people, cannot fulfill themselves, cannot freely fulfill their Judaism in the only national Jewish home in this cruel world. And for all those reasons, we call you, and because there was a Holocaust,